From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and time for the nation's sharpest opinion on an evening when the Republic Media Network is focusing intensely on the violence that has broken out in Bengal. Now, this violence has happened in several parts of Bengal, southern Bengal probably, mostly hit. Muslim majority areas and areas where there's a very predominant Muslim vote bank as well as a Muslim population have seen the most violence. And while I would not like to call this a Muslim mob, let us begin by saying that there is no doubt that this mob and all the mobs which have been just doing whatever they want in this absolute free-for-all in Bengal, that without a doubt, these are anti-Hindu mobs. And there is enough proof of that. Sucharita and I will take you through some news now. Sucharita.
Right. And I think it's very, very clear when we say that you have a right to protest, but you do not have a right to violence. You do not have a right to anarchy. And when Mamata Banerjee says that she's with the protesters, is she with the anarchists? Is she with the people who are on a rampage in West Bengal is what we're asking. Because in the name of anti-Waqf protests, it is complete violence on the streets in Murshidabad, and those visuals that we are showing you leaves us with a lot of questions, Arnab. And
in fact, the protests are not only in Murshidabad, Sucharita, they're also in Malda, they're in Murshidabad, of course, they're in South Chobbish Pargana. We've had a lot of violence in Hooghly as well. There's been arson, there's been stone pelting, there's been road blockades, there have been terrible scenes, there have been people who've been killed, houses which have been surrounded by these anti-Hindu mobs and Hindus who have been killed, and Hindu establishments and establishments with Hindu names have been targeted, deities have been broken, temples have been vandalized, and yet Mamata Banerjee, Sucharita, who keeps saying that I'm going to protect the properties of the Muslims and the properties of the Waqf, says nothing about protecting even the lives of the Hindu community in Bengal. Sucharita.
A very, very obvious question has Mamata Banerjee been reduced to a chief minister of a select few? Why is she not the voice of the people who are being attacked? Because she's not speaking anything. Her DGP, the DGP of West Bengal, is very clearly saying we are willing to act if violence takes place. Is he not able to see the violence that is on the streets in Murshidabad and other parts of West Bengal? Why is he not speaking on that? And why has Mamata Banerjee not come out and issued a statement when we say that she should be out on the streets with the people, comforting the ones who've suffered the attack?
Absolutely. And the DGP says, Rajiv Kumar, he's a favorite and quite a known sycophant of Mamata Banerjee. He says, no big deal. Remember, this is the same man who covered up Sandesh Khali. He says, no big deal. The media should not be making a mountain of a molehill or something to that effect. Would he say or not that there were mobs and anti-Hindu mobs which unleashed mayhem in Suti, in Samserganj areas, in Murshidabad after the conclusion of the Jummah Namaz? And how many people have been arrested for that? Were train services disrupted? Was the public inconvenienced? Was the office of the block development office broken with stones and sticks? Was there complete standstill in the district? Was there an attempt at intimidating even the state administration? And why is Mamata Banerjee so weak, or is she just pretending to be weak? Ladies and gentlemen, before I go to our news report on what has happened to the rest of the media? What has happened to them? They're pretending not to know. Today they are covering, there is one channel, which I would only call a stupid channel, which is covering news about a Netflix documentary and analyzing a Netflix documentary about teenage adolescent violence in Great Britain, but is not covering Murshidabad. They should be ashamed of themselves. They cover everything that's happening in England, but will not cover what's happening in Murshidabad. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the Lutyens media and the corporate media are part of a conspiracy to underplay the anti-Hindu violence in Bengal. But we won't. Let's debate. Here's a quick news report.
Father and son hacked to death. Shops, vehicles torched. Temples attacked. Public property vandalized. Bus burnt down. Passenger train pelted with stones. Police attacked and on the retreat. No fear of law in Mamata's Bengal. These visuals capture Bengal's rapid descent into absolute anarchy and a mobocracy. From Murshidabad, Malda, Shiliguri, Amtala to Calcutta, Bengal slipped into anarchy as Muslim mobs held the streets to ransom. From stone pelting on a passenger train to ransacking of the BDO office in Jangipur, Murshidabad bore the brunt of the Waqf protest fire. With the situation slipping out of control, the Calcutta High Court stepped in. In a scathing indictment of the Mamata police, the High Court ordered the deployment of central forces in violence-torn Murshidabad. Throwing down the gauntlet, earlier, Mamata Banerjee said that the Waqf law will be reversed when the BJP is unseated from power at the centre.
Waqf property also, it was done motivatedly, politically, to divide the country, to divide and rule policy. That BJP's agenda, that we know everything. But one day they will go away and the other government will come, and that time must remember there will be another amendment and it will be passed in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha.
Not stopping at this, she urged Muslims to be patient and pledged to protect their properties.
सबको एक साथ में रह के बचना है, जियो और जीने दो। हमारा इधर में 33% माइनॉरिटीज है, तो हम क्या करेगा, उसको निकाल देगा, और जो रहेगा उसको प्रोटेक्शन देना हमारा काम है। प्लीज रिमेंबर, व्हेन दीदी इज हियर, दीदी विल प्रोटेक्ट यू and your property.
As the fear of communal mobs grip Bengal and Mamata loses control, is President's rule the only way forward now?
Sucharita, we're joined by Shukanto Majumdar, and Shukanto Majumdar is with us tonight. Can you hear me, Shukanto da? Namaskar. BJP President and Member of Parliament.
Loud and clear, Arnab da.
Yeah, Shukanto da, first I'll tell you this, that it is most unfortunate that national media is blacking out the news in Bengal, and they are covering everything else, but they are not talking about Murshidabad. Maybe because they are part of the pseudo-secular fake media. And even in Bengal, Republic Bangla has reporters in Murshidabad. Sometime back, our reporter Bhaskar was attacked and had a narrow escape. Jihadis attacked him in Murshidabad. So firstly, for people across the country who may not know exactly what is happening in Bengal, can you tell them why this is a matter of great concern, even because a lot of the media has not covered it nationally? Can you tell us? Shukant.
Arnab, the thing actually started happening when the Trinamool leader as well as the minister in the cabinet, Siddiqullah Chaudhary, and he is the chief of the Ulema-e-Hind Bengal chapter, I think. He organized a rally in protest of this Waqf amendment or Waqf Act, and he provoked the mob there. Thousands of people accumulated in the heart of the city, that is the Kolkata Park Circus area, and he specifically used these words that we will tight first the districts, then we will tight the Kolkata. I am just quoting him, that he will tighten the district first and then he will tight, that means the Muslims will tighten the Kolkata. That was the language used by the Siddiqullah Chaudhary, who has taken the oath of the constitution, and he is the minister in the cabinet of Mamata Banerjee. In that in that demonstration, he also told people that Didi had called him and gave shabashi. Okay, you have organized a well-organized mob and he's huge in number. That Didi has clapped on his back. And as well as the Siddiqullah Chaudhary used this kind of derogative word. Please allow us 30 minutes. Within the 30 minutes, we will show what we can do. So this is the just repetition of the words of Akbaruddin Owaisi.
And can I play Shukanto?
On that point,
Shukanto Majumdar, I want that bite to be played. Now, what you are saying is that he is a minister. Okay. Can you tell me his official position for all our national viewers? Siddiqullah Chaudhary's official position in the Mamata government.
He is the cabinet minister in Mamata's cabinet, in minority affairs and all this. He is the cabinet minister in the Mamata Banerjee's cabinet.
Okay, now what happens is, Sucharita, a cabinet minister in Mamata Banerjee's cabinet says that, he says, if I 2000 lok, 50 group jodi niye ashi 2000 loker, tale ami Kolkata bondo kore debo, something like that. Which means he's saying that if I bring 50 groups of Muslims, obviously,
yes,
of 2000 each, which means 1 lakh 50 groups of 2000 each, right? I will bring Kolkata to a standstill.
Right.
And this is being said by Mamata's minister. So I want to play that soundbite and then you can ask the next question too. Viewers, please watch this. Please watch this. And to the pseudo-secular lobby which wanted at one time, when Rahul Gandhi failed, you wanted to make Mamata Banerjee Prime Minister of India. She has made a communal man who is threatening to bring Muslim groups. 1 lakh Muslim boys will bring Calcutta to a standstill. She's not filing a case against him. But every day she gets up in the morning and files a case against Republic Bangla. Every day.
And before he gave out that statement, he also said that Mamata is with us. The Chief Minister...
She said Mamata is with us. Mamata has called me and praised me. I want to play the soundbite that Shukanto Majumdar is referring to. Let's play it.
কলকাতাকে যদি বলতাম জ্যাম করব তো 50টা জায়গায় 2000 করে বসে যেতাম সেটা এখন হয়নি পরে কিন্তু হবে বলে করব বলে প্রথমে জেলাকে একটু টাইট করি তারপরে কলকাতার 50টি জায়গায় 10000 হলে কত লাগবে বাস এরা আসবে কলকাতায় বসে চিড়ে গুড় পানি বাতাসা মুড়ি খাবে আর একটু বসবে কিচ্ছু করতে হবে না তো দেখবেন টনকটা কেমন নড়ে
He said, you heard I can translate the Bangla, Sucharita. He's saying আমরা জ্যাম করব and then he says আমরা প্রথমে ডিস্ট্রিক্টে টাইট করব তারপরে আমরা কলকাতা এসে জ্যাম করব This is a state minister and he's saying আমরা এখানে এসে we will sit on the road and we eat chire muri and we will bring the state to a standstill. I think Mamata Banerjee has gone out of control. She's out of the law. She doesn't believe in the law anymore, Sucharita.
No, and it's very clear when he's saying this. He's also saying that Mamata Banerjee, I have the backing of Mamata Banerjee. Now, Mr. Majumdar, it's very clear that Mamata Banerjee is not affected if Kolkata comes to a standstill.
She doesn't care.
If West Bengal comes to a standstill, she's not bothered.
She'll be happy.
Why is she playing in the hands of this communal mob and these so-called communal leaders?
See, Mamata Banerjee has given the indication in her bite, when you have played, that bite you have played, the Muslims are 33%. And this is the fallacy of this country. If a community, religious community, is 33% in a state, how could be the minority community? I think the best word or the best nomenclature for them is the second largest majority. Those people are below 1%, then where will they go? Where will the Sikhs go? Where will the Jain go? And this 33% vote bank Most of, or lot of them are not even the Indian citizen. They are the migrated. They are migrated from the. They have migrated from the Bangladesh also. Illegal immigrants are there.
Put our grids that we request them.
Is a vote bank.
That's not.
And they are blackmailing.
Not forces.
And they are blackmailing Mamata Banerjee.
Yeah.
These people are blackmailing Mamata Banerjee and they stand beside Mamata Banerjee during the election. So that's why Mamata Banerjee is allowing them. Arnab, I would like to request you, just analyze the riots and these kinds of incidents of violence, those happened in last few years. Mamata Banerjee's police, I am alleging it, you just check. The Mamata Banerjee's police allowed peacefully, that means police was peaceful, to loot the homes and the shops of the Hindus. Anywhere that kind of incident happened in the state of West Bengal. So this is the standing order of the Mamata Banerjee, that if Muslims start looting or start rioting, police won't do anything.
So, but what about the Hindu community?
Police was attacked.
What about the Hindu community? You see, now there's an election next year. Last time you fought, but you could not win. What is the Hindu community united? Is there any response from the Hindu community? Or are they going to be quiet and accept? What is the role of the BJP? What is the role of the RSS in restoring peace and giving a sense of security to the Hindu community in Bengal?
Arnab, we are working for the Hindu community as well as all other community of the states. But the problem is that Hindus are ruled by the 34 years by the left, and then the 13-14 years by the Mamata Banerjee, and they have been given the taste of pseudo-secularism, which is not at all secularism. Even the Hindus, so that's why nowadays Hindus are coming together, Hindus are really, they are concerned about their future. Even lots of Hindus are of that opinion that the great Calcutta-like incidents may happen. Calcutta killings-like incident may happen in the near future. And I believe that in the next election, the Hindus will unite and they will fight against these jihadis.
But they did not unite last time.
Yes, they did not, because they have been, they have been given the tablet of pseudo-secularism for a long time. Now you ask the Kolkata people, they will ask, okay, if you do this kind of work, if you chant Jai Shri Ram, that will be communal. But Allahu Akbar is not communal. It is secular. So that kind of mindset has been prepared for several years. That is the success of the left liberals in the state of West Bengal. That's why Hindus are facing this kind of things. These Mamata Banerjee, these Murshidabad people, once upon a time, they all were the CPM worker or CPM supporter. At that time, they have chanted, Mora eki binte duiti kushum, Hindu Musulman. So now they are facing.
I understand. We'll close it there. Shukanto Majumdar, the situation is very worrying. Very, very worrying. We are tracking it very closely.
Very.
Republic Bangla has been attacked some time back. I want to play a small clip of that attack. Shukanto, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. And I have a full panel ready. Before I go to them, I want to run a 1-minute clip of the attack on the Republic Bangla reporter. 1-minute clip, please.
Yes. Well, yes, Arnab. Yes, Arnab, and those. Yes, Arnab. देखिए यहाँ पे रिपब्लिक के ऊपर अटैक हो रहा है. देखिए यहाँ पे अटैक हो रहा है. हम लोग लाइव कर रहे थे, हम लोग लाइव दिखा रहे थे. तो वो हालात देखिए. अब देखिए यहाँ पे अटैक हो रहा है. देखिए यहाँ पे अटैक हो रहा है. रिपब्लिक के ऊपर अटैक हो रहा है इधर. Republic too is being now being attacked. और देखिए यहाँ पे जो हालत है, यहाँ पे देखिए ये मॉब, ये जिहादी, ये भाग के आ रहे हैं, अटैक कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे देखिए जो हालत है बहुत ही गंभीर है। मुर्शिदाबाद जिला के अंदर रिपब्लिक के ऊपर इस वक्त अटैक हो रहा है, अटैक करने के लिए और देखिए यहाँ पर पत्थरबाजी चल रहा है, पत्थर छोड़ने ये लोग पत्थर मार रहे हैं और देखिए जो हालत है बहुत ही गंभीर है। ये हालत बहुत यहाँ पे जिहादी लोगों ने कुछ जिहादी मिलकर अटैक कर रहे हैं। यहाँ पे पत्थर फेंका गया रिपब्लिक मेरा वीडियो जर्नलिस्ट मेयर्स और हम लोग का जो ड्राइवर है उन पे अटैक हुआ है।
And that was the moment when he was targeted and attacked. I have with me Sanju Verma, Rahul Ishwar, Ratan Sharda, Sadhvi Jayabharti, Anirban Banerjee of the Trinamool, Nikhil Jain of the Congress and Ahmed Ayaz. We are all very concerned about the situation in Bengal today. Ratan Sharda, this is going to spiral out of control because Mamata Banerjee does not want to control it.
Now, what is the difference between Bangladesh and West Bengal today? In both the countries, Hindus are the cursed lot because they're in minority, and that's why they can be beaten up, they can be raped, they can be looted, and governments will keep quiet. That is the situation. And for this, it's not something which went gradually downhill, it went continuously downhill. And for this, I blame the Bengali Bhadralok who kept quiet, silent, who conspired by keeping quiet right from direct action in 1946 to violence of partition, to sustained violence in Bengal for all these years. You'll remember 2016 Kaliachak attack in Malda, when your media was not allowed to enter that particular place for 2-3 days, while the burned police station was repainted, and sure as something good, nothing had happened. And the inspector said that I've been told not, SHO said we are not supposed to talk to the media. And this is not something new. Mamata Banerjee said something in 2005, she didn't want illegal immigrants. By 2016, she said give the right to district managers to give citizenship to every Bangladeshi who comes to Bengal. And she threatened that she will follow suit. I will not follow CA, I will not NRC. And you think it's the first riot? I will just give you a list. 2013, after Mamata came to power in 2011, 59 incidents of communal violence. 2016, infamous riots of Dhulagad, Basirat, Baduria. 2015, Nadia, 2016, Malda, 2016, Hazirapur, Dhulagad, and 2017, Baduria. Havra city itself saw 36 riots in 2021 and 23 riots in 2022. CPI Marxist Secretary MD Salim accused Mamata Banerjee of orchestrating the riots to polarize. This is the history of Bengal. Let us not close our eyes. Let us not look for denying, negating the horribly communal polarization created by this TMC for want of power. And that is the root cause of all this. And unless Hindus rise, like in Bangladesh and in West Bengal, they will face the worst fate in coming times, because it is not just state level. Right. Even at district level, village level,
Anirban.
Hindus are reduced minority.
Absolutely.
I don't think we can close our eyes. We're not closing our eyes, and the ones who've closed their eyes can see what is happening to the Republic crew in Murshidabad. The ones who've kept their eyes closed should see those visuals, should see that report from Murshidabad by Republic Bangla, and they will know what exactly is happening in Murshidabad and West Bengal. So Anirban sitting here, Anirban sitting here, the question that Ratan Sharda is posing to you: has Kolkata become Dhaka? Has West Bengal become Bangladesh? He's asking a direct question to you.
Okay. Okay, people like Ratan Sharda, they are nothing more than agent provocateurs. All they want is to Bengal burn. But what we have seen that the police have taken the stringent of actions. More than 100 persons have been arrested. Mr. Outsider, we don't need your advice. Mr. Outsider, we don't need your advice. You keep your advice to yourself. Mr. Sharda, keep your advice to yourself. You are an outsider. You know nothing about Bengal, and all you want to do is provoke.
No, Anirban, what really, Anirban, he is an outsider, but Bhaskar is not. Our reporter is not an outsider.
No, he's not an outsider. Why should we call Ratan Sharda an outsider? This country is for all. This outsider-insider idea. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. You know, I've heard, I've had enough. Ratan Sharda, give me a moment. Give me a moment. অনির্বাণ 2 মিনিট মুখ বন্ধ রাখো, আমি কিছু একটা বলছি, তারপরে তুমি বলো, ঠিক আছে? তুমি আমার থেকে ছোট, 2 মিনিট চুপ থাকো। 1 মিনিট 2 মিনিট চুপ থাকো না, আউটসাইডার ইনসাইডার করে থাকো না। আরে কত বহিরাগত এসে গেল বাংলাদেশ থেকে, কিছু করতে পারলে কি? কিছু করতে পেরেছো? করতে পেরেছো? তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করছি। 2005-এ এভরিবডি অন, 2005-এ আমার কথা শোনো। 2005-এ যখন তোমার দিদি মমতা দিদি যখন কাঁদছিল পার্লামেন্টে বসে, কি কত লোক বাংলাদেশ থেকে এসে গেল, কাঁদতে আরম্ভ করেছিল, এখন কাঁদে? In 2005, Sanju Verma, this same Mamata Banerjee was crying in parliament, oh, infiltrators have taken over Bangladesh, I feel like crying. But today, will she cry about the way Bangladesh has been taken over by infiltrators? Sanju Verma, the reality is this. The reality is that these people who say, 1 minute, these people who say outsider, insider, they say we are insider and that is why we can do Sharada chit fund scam. We are insider, that's why we can do public distribution scam. We are insider, that's why we can do SSC scam. We are insiders, that is why we can do teachers recruitment scam. We are insiders, that is why we can do Rose Valley scam. We are insiders, that is why we can do Amphan relief package scam. We are insiders, that is why we can do Sandesh Khali. We are insiders, that is why we can do RG Kaur. We are insiders, that is why we can loot the state. We are insiders, and that is why we can open the borders to Bangladeshi Muslims and say, don't worry, we are here, we will give you ration card, we will give you a vote.
Who guards the border?
Shame on you. Bengal is burning, sitting in Kolkata and pretending nothing has happened. You sycophant. And now Sanju Verma is on the debate, ladies and gentlemen. Sanju Verma as Bengal is burning tonight. Sanju.
Thank you. Arnab, first and foremost, let me tell you that both you and Sucharita, you've actually set the tone and tenor of the debate by giving out those horrifying facts. You know, I just want to add to what Sukanta Majumdar
Everyone
said.
else.
Siddiqullah Chaudhary, he's not only the head of Jamaat-e-Ulema Hind, he's the state library minister in the Mamata cabinet.
Exactly.
He's openly called for violence.
Yes.
Siddiqullah Chaudhary, the state library minister, has openly called for violence. The minority affairs minister of Mamata Banerjee, Ghulam Rabbani,
Therefore, please.
Can I please not be heckled by this TMC Gunda?
To yourself.
Can I please not be heckled by this illiterate paid panelist, illiterate TMC Gunda? Illiterate TMC Gunda.
Language, our culture.
Arnab, can you
Gunda is now your
shut up? I don't want to be debating with this hooligan. You continue speaking. When you're done, I will talk. When you're done with your Gundagardi on national TV, I will speak. Now let me come in, Arnab. Ghulam Rabbani, the minority affairs minister in the Mamata cabinet, has also called for violence. And if you remember, Arnab, a few months back, Firhad Hakim, the mayor of Kolkata and the urban development minister, proudly said, currently we are 33%. The day we become 53 or 63%, तब देखो बंगाल में हिंदुओं का हम क्या हाल करते हैं. फिरहाद हकीम openly said, आज हम 33% हैं, जिस दिन हम 53% होंगे, the day we become 53%, Hindus will be finished. And Mamata Banerjee was cheering Firhad Hakim from the sidelines. My limited point is this: law and order under the 7th schedule of the Constitution is a state subject. Mamata Banerjee has failed as the chief minister. Mamata Banerjee is the de facto home minister. She has failed as the home minister. During the RG Kaur case, we saw even as the health minister, she completely failed the state. And I'm surprised that the Calcutta High Court, despite being on vacation today, had to sit in judgment and said, we cannot be mute spectators when the state is burning. This is what Raja Basu Chaudhary and Justice Somin Sen said. The state is burning. Mamata Banerjee has failed. Why do you say that the BSF should not be deployed? The Kolkata High Court asked Mamata Banerjee, why do you say that central forces should not be deployed? And Mamata Banerjee had no answers. Mamata Banerjee has the audacity to lecture Hindus during Ram Navami saying, let all Hindus maintain peace and prosperity. But the same Mamata Banerjee, Mamata Bano Begum, does not have the temerity or the gall or the audacity to ask rabid radical
Anirban.
Islamists to toe the line.
Respond to him?
What is the
Anirban.
solution? Why is she giving these Islamic goons a free hand?
No, but I think
Two people were killed. Govind Das.
Nikhil, you are muted. Nikhil, you are muted.
You or Ratan Sharda, it's very clear that you or Ratan Sharda being called an outsider, Sanju can be an outsider, Ratan Sharda can be an outsider because West Bengal is operating like a different country altogether. So they're all outsiders.
I think that's not
They're all outsiders. So they don't have a right to ask a question.
No, the question is most relevant. The question is most relevant. One minute. Anirban, let's bring some order here. This is my program. This is not some, one of your Trinamool channels.
You are allowing this to be...
Your Trinamool channels which you run. Trinamool state government gives money to the Trinamool channels which you run. The Minimin channels with three-letter names. Now please listen to me. Don't make me open my mouth. Now listen to me.
I'm not interested.
Now Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, the reality is here that Hindus are being targeted. Hindus are feeling very insecure in Bengal. Now, Mamata Banerjee's calculation is Hindus may be insecure, they may be targeted, but they are not politically united. And Muslims may be 30%, 33%, but they are united and they will vote for me. Hindus will be divided and some of them will vote for me and then I will manage with the rest of the Muslim vote, I will manage. Which is why, as that alleged formula, I don't know whether it's Prashant Kishore's idea, whose it is, 70% of 30%. And 30% of 70% is the formula. 70% of the 30% Muslim vote and 30% or 20% of the Hindu population comes, we are fine. Now question is, Sadhvi Jaya Bharti, there's a clear political calculation she is doing. She does not care about Bengal. I have the governor of Bengal on the phone line. His Excellency C.V. Ananda Bose is with me on the phone line. Good evening. Good evening. Honorable Governor Sahab, this is Arnab Goswami here. Can you hear me, sir?
Good evening, Arnab. How are you?
Sir, I am okay, but the situation in your state is terrible. Our reporter has just been targeted and attacked. We can't even report. Hindu temples have been vandalized. And, Hindu deities have been targeted. Hindu shops and establishments are being targeted. As the governor, what do you intend to do, sir? Because this has been repeated too long. And a state minister is inciting violence. A minister in the state government is himself inciting violence. What is your view, sir, as governor?
You see, vandals and scandals are marring the body politics of Bengal. Violence has been there in Bengal, which is marring the social political life there. In the recent days, we saw wanton violence on the streets. When politics is mixed with religion, it's a heady concoction which affects the people of Bengal. Yes, immediately on the receipt of the report about riots in the street, as governor, I had taken it up with the authorities at the center and the state for the deployment of central forces there. It required the intervention of the Honorable High Court for central forces to be deployed there. If the violence continues there, it means strong and perceptible action is required. Bengal cannot afford this kind of a situation at all. Of course, protest is natural in a democracy, but we cannot allow protest degenerate into violence. It is violence which is marring the atmosphere there. Certainly, all authorities have to come together and take stern steps against this. This kind of situation has to be dealt with an iron hand. It will be dealt with an iron hand. Let us wait for the entry of the central forces there. I hope the situation will come to normalcy very soon.
Sir,
secondly, your question about ministers interfering in your inciting violence.
Sir, there were reports of BSF. There were reports of BSF also being targeted. We got half an hour back.
See, I'm very confident. India has a strong military force, paramilitary force, which can take care of any situation. Any attack on BSF is only a foolhardy attempt. This nation knows how to contain such situations.
Come on.
What Bengal needs now is action, strong action, nothing but strong action.
Sir, but Mr. Bose, these are words. Only 5 companies of BSF being deployed in Murshidabad are not enough. I mean, the violence is too spread out. Just 5 companies of BSF is not going to be able to handle the situation. And, it just seems insufficient given what's happening.
Your observation is valid. Certainly, if more forces are required,
come on,
steps will be taken to see that adequate forces are deployed immediately.
So, yeah, Suti.
It's very clear with what is happening in Bengal. Mamata Banerjee is completely lost all control. Now, the Calcutta High Court had to step in today to say that paramilitary force needs to be deployed. Now, the question being asked is this the time that the army should be deployed? Is this the time that there should be president's rule in West Bengal? Sir.
Is it a question to me?
Yes, sir.
Sir, to you.
Well, this is a situation which our paramilitary forces can easily handle. Let's wait for some time.
So you believe paramilitary forces can handle this? Then why was it that in Dhuliyan we saw army vehicles on standby?
You see, the operational aspect of the forces is something which is better left to themselves in an hour of crisis. As governor, I do not want to interfere in that and comment on it now. But I understand and appreciate your anxiety.
I think his name is Siddiqullah Chaudhary. Siddiqullah Chaudhary has threatened to bring Kolkata to a standstill by bringing 1 lakh Muslim groups in. And he says, I will tighten the situation in the districts, then I will tighten Kolkata. But there is no, it's a cabinet minister threatening violence, Mr. Governor. Your Excellency, a cabinet minister is threatening violence and blackmailing the people of Bengal. And we are concerned and we can't, it's never seen before. What do you think of this situation? Mamata Banerjee hasn't said anything. Don't you think Mamata Banerjee should take some action against her own minister who's threatening violence, who's blackmailing the people of Bengal? Should Mamata Banerjee not act against Siddiqullah Chaudhary? What is your advice on that, Mr. Governor?
I do not want to come on the public domain about such a sensitive issue, but I take your observation very, very seriously. I will certainly convey it to those concerned with all the seriousness it deserves and take appropriate action at the appropriate time. Let me not venture into any public statement on this sensitivity now.
So you've always talked of a healing touch. My last question to you is whether you would consider that in Murshidabad, in the violence-hit areas, would you travel there? Would you meet the members of the Hindu community to let them know that there is someone standing behind them, if not the state government?
Of course, various sections of society are always in touch with me. The opposition parties, political parties are all in touch with me. I'm accessible to them. I'm receiving a lot of requests and complaints and grievances. In the peace room, I'm attending it personally, talking to people. Whatever is required of a governor will certainly be done.
Would you speak to Mamata Banerjee on this?
I've already spoken to her. But I do not want
when did you speak to her?
In the public domain.
When did you speak to her last, sir, on this?
A few hours back.
But about an hour back, sir? Sir?
Well, what transpires between the governor and my esteemed constitutional colleague?
No, I understand, but you spoke to her today, earlier today?
In the last 3 days, we have been in constant contact.
How is she responding? I mean, what can you, if you don't have to give the details, but is she being defensive? Is she being confrontational? Is she being responsible?
Since she has expressed certain views to me in confidence, let me not betray that confidence. I don't want to share it in public, but contact is there with the government of India, with the state government and various other authorities, the political parties. I am in touch with them.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Bose, thank you so much for joining me. We'll remain in touch as well.
So much.
Thank you very much. I go back to our panelists. Sadhvi, Jaya Bharti, what do you think?
Arnab, we are missing a very important point here. We are asking the question and everybody is deliberating why Mamata Banerjee is failing, why has she not been responsible?
Yes.
What I'm watching after the context that you have set in the beginning of the debate is that today we are seeing a government which is of a separatist nature, which calling people of India as outsiders, and there is a government today which is orchestrating violence, which is using the state as a ground for anarchy, and they are using Hindus as a fodder to polarize Muslims. And Hindus have been used by Mamata Banerjee government as fodder for the violence against them, because this is what we are seeing. She will not act to protect Hindus. She has spoken the statement that I just heard on your channel just now. She said that we will protect the minorities. She only spoke about protecting the minorities. She did not say a word about ensuring safety for everyone. What is she saying? The cabinet minister is asking for violence. He's indicating how they're going to strangulate the state. Mamata Banerjee is sitting like a duck and allowing everything, and she's been using Hindus as a fodder. And for this reason and for this very incident, we have these slogans such as "Batenge to Katenge." If Hindus of the West Bengal, they do not, unite and wake up to this call, these people will keep using them as fodder.
And the news that's just coming in, let me tell my viewers, in view of the communal violence that is reported in Murshidabad, the Union Home Secretary is holding a video conference with Chief Secretary and DGP of West Bengal. Now, the escalation in West Bengal, additional 5 companies of BSF have also been deployed. Now, additional 5 companies of BSF being deployed. You know that earlier in the day, BSF troops were also targeted in Murshidabad. Now, escalation in that number, 5 more companies of BSF deployed.
Absolutely. I'd like to go across to Rahul Ishwar right now.
The joke is that Mamata wants to be all India leader. She wants to be India as leader.
No, 1 minute.
Only control in the part of...
Okay. Let me get in Rahul Ishwar, please. He wants to make 2 submissions. Rahul.
Jokers tell us...
Just 2 submissions. First of all, whenever there is non-violence, please understand non-violence is non-negotiable, and you have to condemn the violence. Instead of condemning the violence, please don't call those people who call out violence as outsiders. That is unbecoming of an Indian. See, Bengal also belongs to India. We all belong to our motherland, India. Everybody is criticizing the supporter of TMC. Please take the honest. 2 or 3 people have died. Please understand, take up the responsibility, apologize, and condemn the violence.
Don't even call RSS with your ill mouth. You have no audacity.
This is not how you should deal with it. And please remember, Calcutta is a state which has seen violence earlier and also seen the greatest instance of Hindu-Muslim unity during our independence time. The miracle of Calcutta is such an example. If you want to set that example, bring people together, own up, condemn the violence, say it was wrong, rather than closing it over. Please be honest enough, please be patriotic enough to own up the violence, condemn it outright, and apologize.
He's been waiting for long. Let me just go across to Mr. Ayaz. Mr. Ayaz, as we said, there is always a room for applications in court, and I'm sure you were also doing that. But then there is no room for violence in this country, and that is exactly what is happening in West Bengal. I hope tonight you will speak against that violence, sir.
Well, there is no room for violence in democracy, and simultaneously everybody has the right to raise their concern. Well, there may be a reason. There is a reason to raise the concern, very valid reason. But we never mean that. We never say that there must be violence. What has happened in the Murshidabad? The government should explain their position, and there are reasons.
So the point
that people are raising the concern. There are valid concerns, and people have
People have lost their lives. It's not about condemnation, sir. It's about calling the government that either it should stop acting as the way the government is acting is it is propagating violence for its own interest and making it, they're using Hindus as fodder for polarization and appeasing Muslims.
That's what I say.
I'm not listening to one person who's condemning and who's calling off Mamata Banerjee. The way you're giving is a very pacifying, very lame statement, sir. Just look at the situation, how dire it is, and speak at least in accordance to that.
The question is,
we are not lame sitting here. You're walking over our dead bodies. Hindus are being, burnt and hacked to death, and you're giving we are not allowing people to be giving what is that?
Concentrating on the Waqf amendments where people, the Muslims are not, happy with whatever amendments have been done. I think we should concentrate on that. Instead of targeting the West Bengal. Well, there may be a point that must be dealt with. That must be handled. But diverting it to the West Bengal situation, I think that's...
I'd like to bring in Sanju Verma here on a Versus Tonight with Arnab.
Govind Das and his son Chandan Das were hacked to death.
Two voices.
And the police constabulary of Mamata Banerjee looked on as mute spectators helplessly. Her Govind Das and his son Chandan Das were hacked to death. And the TMC spokesperson or TMC acolyte here, he called me a Boira Gotto. So I want to tell him, Ami Boira Gotto noy. Ami Bharater Nagorik. Amke game deva bondo korun. হিসেবে ফেল করেছেন
Ideology is completely anti-Bengal, and any person belonging from any part of a country that is anti-Bengal will always be an outsider.
আমি ভারতের নাগরিক
Venomous for Bengal.
আমকে জ্ঞান দেওয়া বন্ধ করুন।
You are completely
মমতা ব্যানার্জি চিফ মিনিস্টার হিসেবে, মমতা ব্যানার্জি হোম মিনিস্টার হিসেবে, মমতা ব্যানার্জি হেলথ মিনিস্টার হিসেবে ফেল করেছেন।
Burning for years.
আপনার লজ্জা করা উচিত। Don't give me gyan, okay? I can speak Bangla now. Can you speak in Hindi? So never again dare call me a Boira Gotto. I want to ask you, when law and order is a state subject, why has Mamata Banerjee not requisitioned for central forces? Why did the Calcutta High Court have to step in? Point number one. Why is the BSF not being given a free hand? Why is Mamata Banerjee intervening in the BSF operations? What is she so scared about? My third question, who will pay for the death of Govind Das, who was killed by TMC goons? Who will pay for the death of Chandan Das, the son of Govind Das, who was brutally hacked to death by TMC gundas?
At the top of your
Beat Malda riots, beat Dhuliyan riots, beat Washington riots, beat
Mr. Sharda, let's just get Mr. Ratan Sharda. Mr. Sharda, it's very clear if the BSF being attacked, if the BSF is being attacked, if the Calcutta High Court says that it's time for paramilitary to step in, there is something seriously wrong, which the government of the day is not seeing.
Is it the first
government
time
in West Bengal?
Since the Mamata Banerjee has come to Bengal in power, how many times have High Court pulled her up for taking care of women, for stopping riots, for stopping rigging of the elections, on every step?
Yes.
People have to go to High Court. They have no rights. They want to take a procedure.
You can't bring everything to the High Court, Mr. Ratan Sharda. See, people have a right to protest.
State is this?
People have a right to raise the concern. In this state, targeting Mamata Banerjee,
Just imagine today. A moment, please. A moment. Ratan Sharda, Ahmadiyaz, 1 minute. Ahmadiyaz, just imagine today that if this were not Hindus but Muslims who had been killed. Just 1 minute. If it was not Hindus, Ahmadiyaz, since you are, I'll tell you, if it was not Hindus, if their names were not Hindu names, if the people who had been killed, if their names were not Hindu names, right? And if there had been Muslims who had been killed, if the Muslim houses had been attacked, if a mosque would have been vandalized, right? Then by now, what would have happened? And today, a stupid channel is concerned about teenage violence in England. 1 minute, why are you interrupting me? I am asking you today, if Muslims had been killed, if this was Muslims had been victims, what would Nikhil Jain have been doing today? He would have been sitting on dharna. But because Hindus are being killed, it's fine.
Arnab, can I speak for once on your show? I've been sitting there.
Who's stopping you, man? And you mute yourself, that's not my problem.
Given to the BJP. 118 arrests have been made. A TMC member of parliament has been attacked. By the West
Why has
Bengal
Mamata Banerjee
wrong? I condemn it. You should not be flaring communal tensions.
Maintaining law and order.
Exactly what people from the BJP have been doing on your show so far. Mr. Majumdar, the union minister, is trying to break it down into Hindu and Muslim, and Hindus will not sit silent. That is what the BJP spokesperson, the loudmouth Sanju Verma, is doing here. That is what Mr. Sharda is doing. That is what the other lady on the panel has been doing.
Sanju Verma.
Of these
violence, Panchayat called violence. How many times has Mamata Banerjee been pulled up by the Supreme Court? How many times has Mamata Banerjee been pulled up by the Calcutta High Court? Do you remember? Sandesh Khali Dawn, Shahjahan Sheikh was finally arrested after the Supreme Court intervened. Mamata Banerjee was protecting a Bangladeshi TMC goon called Shahjahan Sheikh. And even then,
because the victim's name, now let me come in, everyone on, because the victim's name is Hari Govinda Das. Because the victim's name is Hari Govinda Das. Hari Govinda Das can die. But if it had been a Muslim name, Ahmad Ayaz would have been sitting in Shaheen Bagh by now.
What Shaheen Bagh?
Sadhvi Jaya Bharti. Because the name is Hari Govinda Das. Because his name is Chandan Das. His name is Chandan Das. Hindus can die, can be mutilated, no problem.
Police has been protecting the rightists from the BJP for...
This is anti-Hindu violence, have no doubt about it.
And you're talking about the Calcutta High Court. Most of the orders of the Calcutta High Court against the...
Forget about the Calcutta High Court. What is your government doing over there when the Hindus are being killed and she's saying that she's protecting minorities? Are Hindu lives not as equally important? You can just walk over the Hindu dead bodies. What is your government doing? Stop about going back to the High Court and hiding your face. Talk about what your government is doing. Mamata Banerjee is sitting there and saying that she will protect minorities because they are 33%. Even if there are Hindus are in minority
Suchita, break it.
in West Bengal, you will
break with the breaking rate. Breaking news coming in right now, Sucharita. Break it.
Minorities. Tell our viewers the news that's coming in Bengal. Additional reinforcement to be sent to West Bengal.
I'm also being told right now that the BSF headquarters has received a report from the Bengal DIG on the attack on BSF personnel. Additional reinforcements being said. The BSF to issue a official statement in a short while. The situation very concerning situation today. Very concerning situation in Murshidabad. Mamata Banerjee once again guilty of provocation. She keeps saying, I'll protect Muslim properties, but she says nothing about Hindu lives. There's been anti-Hindu violence in Bengal, and Republic, Sucharita, and only Republic has been live on this, and we will continue to be.
Right, and the country is looking at Mamata Banerjee. Is she going to act finally?
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.